What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of, I think I'm gonna call it Read It and Weep, where I take new comic book, Day Wednesday comic books. I read them, and then I give my thoughts and opinions on how much I liked it, how much I didn't like it, and just go on a whole just tangent from there. As you see, first up, we got issue 2 of Ahsoka. So what Ahsoka is doing is she is pretty much trying to, in her point of view, trying to stop the return of I think he's a Grand Admiral, Vice Admiral Thrawn. I don't know much about the guy. I honestly don't really read too much Star Wars. But when I do, it's usually like the core people. I know Thrawn is a core guy, but I never like made it to him or really. So pretty much, I'm the type of guy that's all about action. If it doesn't have lifesavers, if it doesn't have lightsaber battles, then I really don't want anything to do with it. I'm sorry, that's just who I am. He's probably an amazing read, but I never really had anybody say, "Hey, read him. He's amazing. He's great. You have to know about him." So I only ever read, Darth Vader, Mace Windu, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka now. But yeah, she's trying to stop the return of him. He's been exiled, and there is a map that shows where he is. They end up buying, I think that's how you say it. But goes to her because she's very smart. She ends up unlocking the map, and she gets attacked by another former Jedi who's now turned evil, and his apprentice. They take the map, they ended up opening the map, finding out where Thrawn is, so now it's just a race to see who can get the Thrawn first and stop the forthcoming of the rise of the Empire again. Very, very short story, not much happened within it, pretty much I just gave it all away just now. But Star Wars comics is a good read. If you hear a dog barking, it's a dog outside, and hopefully my dog doesn't start barking. It's a very good read, and I like the way the Star Wars books are set up, because they're set up in a way they all kind of interconnect, but not really. So it's like, if you only like a certain character, you can read just their books and still get the story. Now you want to get the point of views of every other aspect of the story, but you still, it's kind of like watching a movie. It's like, even though when you watch the Star Wars movies, you see the point of view of Luke, at no point did you stop to think, oh, I wonder what Darth Vader's doing at this moment. And that's kind of like what the comic books are. It's like, you're reading Ahsoka, but at no point are you really thinking, oh, I wonder what Darth Vader's doing at this moment. So that's that. But I highly recommend it. Ahsoka issue 2. Good read. I'm not going to say it was an amazing read because it's only issue 2. But if you like Ahsoka, I'll definitely pick it up. So we're going to move on to the second book and get going from there. We have Spawn Kills Every Spawn. This is issue 2. Continuing on, of course, from issue 1. Issue 1 was very introductory. You got Chibi Spawn, who wants to be known as the only Spawn, the greatest Spawn, and the only way he knows how to do that is to take out every other Spawn. So he goes out and he starts taking out Gingerbread Spawn. He takes out like a Pinocchio Spawn. He takes out Kangaroo Jack Spawn. He takes out Jiminy Roach, which wasn't a Spawn, but it was a play on Jiminy Cricket. But he takes out all these Spawns, even Teletubby Spawn, Moby Dick Spawn, just to name some more, just to be told by Jiminy Roach, like, hey, you're taking out all these weak Spawns, you must know that you are going to need a team. Try to put my words together. And he's like, what do you mean I'm going to need a team? The whole point of this is for me to take out every other Spawn and become the superior Spawn. And he's like, well, and he does a callback Scorched series, and it was a cover that had all the Spawns, Archangel, Scorched or She Spawn, regular Spawn, medieval Spawn, anti-Spawn, and it had all them on the cover. He's like, these top Spawns are a team now. So you're not just going to get to Spawn. If you get to that Spawn, you got these other Spawns to worry about. So you're going to need a team. So he's like, oh, you have a good idea. And takes out Jiminy Roach. That's when he takes out Jiminy Roach. And then he goes on and pretty much it's kind of like, I don't know if it was a play on X-Force or whatever, but it was the whole X-Force things where he actually puts out flyers building a Spawn team, and he waits at, a building waiting for applicants, and then some guy actually like walks up, because in the beginning nobody was walking up. It was kind of like issue 1 where he was at the convention trying to give out autographs and nobody was seeing him, and so we see that again and he's like, this sucks again, kind of a play on the issue 1. And some guy walks up, and I'm sitting here thinking they think it's a convention. And so when he walks up, he's like, hey, I want an application. He looks up, you actually see Spawn, but not the real Spawn, but Spawn. And I'm thinking it's a cosplay, but it's not. What happens is the room fills up with every Spawn that you can think of. And I actually, did I write some of them down? I did not write any of them down. But I took a picture. That's what it was. So I'm probably going to put the picture up here somewhere around here. And it's every Spawn you can think of. There was a Simpson Spawn, Power Ranger Spawn, a Predator Spawn, Mandalorian Spawn, Grogu Spawn. The spread was absolutely amazing. And like I said, I'm going to freaking show it up here because it was freaking hilarious. So that was the end of that chapter, issue. And Chibi Spawn is going to have to build a team. He doesn't want to, but he knows for the sake of what he's trying to achieve, he's going to lead the team. So that was that. Amazing read, very funny. Books like that, because they did it before with Spawn kills everyone, pay attention to the background. Pay attention to the art. The art is great. The coloring is great. Everything is legible. So pay attention to the background, or else you're going to miss some hilarious bits. So yes, highly recommend it. If you're not reading it, please read it. And is this me being biased on Spawn? Kind of, because I pick up anything Spawn universe related. But I will honestly say Spawn kills every Spawn is hilarious. On to the next book. We have Berserker, the Lost Book of B. Got through it. So, as you can see from the story, it's continuing the Berserker series. But what I'm noticing with Berserker, it's not really a forward-going story. It's more of a take-back. So, it seems like every book we're getting is, to me, in my opinion, is showing points in time where maybe a large war, maybe a huge incident may have taken place in Unuk. I can't say it, but I'm just probably going to call him Keanu. But Unuk seems like he's being placed in certain points in history, and he's being a determining factor. Which is kind of cliche. They've been doing that for a long time, but the way they do it here, I'm not going to say it's amazing, but it works. So what they did in this book, which is so big, but it's a pretty much straightforward story, they put him in Genghis Khan, which Genghis Khan was infamous conqueror. And what they did was made Unuk the reason he became such an amazing conqueror. So when you really think back and just think in real life, all the stories you've heard of Genghis Khan being just taking over everything, just dropping everybody, this comic's pretty much telling you it was because of Unuk. And it's really interesting. Like I said, it's cliche, but it works. So Unuk has followers, of course. He's pretty much immortal. He's made by the gods. So of course he will have followers. And they pretty much understand how he works. They understand how his power works. So they're not saying it, but they're kind of exploiting it. So what they do is they set it up to where they allow Genghis Khan to exploit Unuk to use his powers of immortality and regeneration and all that stuff by, setting him up, and just things just kind of lay into place. So Genghis Khan uses him, conquers everything, gets everything that he wants. Tell Unuk like he doesn't backstab Unuk at all. He's just like, whatever is mine is yours. Whatever is yours is yours. You're helping me, and whatever you want out of this, you can have. Because, he's afraid of Unuk. He's he understands what Unuk can do and whatnot, so he doesn't want to, backstab that. But, of course, Unuk kind of, goes back to the days of his father. He thinks back on what his father did. It's kind of using him to win wars and battles, and it's more do you even care about what I want? It's all about what you want. It's all about what you're trying to achieve. And you're just telling me I can just take what I want. And it's well, what if I don't want this at all? So he ends up taking out Genghis Khan and stuff. And Genghis Khan I kind of figured this was going to happen. Like I said, and that's pretty much it. It's just the story of Genghis Khan conquering everything. through the use of Yanut, and Yanut just like, I don't want any of this. Takes him out. He just, it was a panel, like he was just throwing everybody out the window, which was kind of funny. Throws him out the window, throws the follower that was setting everything up out the window, but before he gets thrown out the window, the follower tells him, like, I am one of many. You take me out, there's already somebody in line to take my place, and you won't know until you know. So yeah, Berserker has really been a good series. I've been trying to follow every book that comes out because it's interesting. And I kind of like where they're going with it because it works. A good portion of it is cliche. You know, you got the immortal that's created by gods and can regenerate, can't die. His life is based on events, real life events in history. And we get to see how he plays a role in that. But it works, and I like it. And I don't know if because I'm a Keanu Reeves stan or what, but it's amazing. So if you're not reading Berserker, I'm not even going to say that you're missing out on anything. It's just if you're a Keanu Reeves fan, if everything I just described is the type of story you like, a lot of gore, I will honestly say it's not a lot of dialogue because we're trying to learn who he is, then Berserker is for you. That being said, that's book 3. Let's hit our book 4. Last book of my Read It and Weep series is going to be 0 Hour, the 30th anniversary special, which, as you can tell, anything that has 30th anniversary or special in it, it's probably like a redo of something that was previously done. So what this does is it takes the 0 Hour event, and you actually see different parts of the story being done art-wise by different artists. Some of the artists were good. Some of them were like, why does he look like that? Some of them were like, oh, like seems like more modern, like nothing changed. But it was interesting, like, because you're flipping through and you're like, and you don't notice. Well, I didn't notice it at first, and then I'm like, why does he look like that? And then I finally look down throughout the whole panel, and it's like in the corner, and you'll be like artwork. It'll be like artwork done by such and such, and then you'll read it again and be like, wait, didn't he look like this 5 pages ago, like a certain way? And then you'll look down in the corner and be like artwork done by. So it's pretty cool. If you have an eye for art, you'll catch it immediately. I didn't. I was just like, what in the world is going on here? But if you read the 0 Hour event, you kind of know what the story is. If you don't, I'm gonna give you a rundown. So Kyle Rayner pretty much is brought to a universe, a timeline. I'm gonna say universe that is being controlled by Parallax, Hal Jordan Parallax, and this is after the events of Hal Jordan Parallax. But you find out that when they destroyed Parallax, he kind of cut a piece of himself and created a pocket universe, in the outskirts, where people wouldn't find it. And he goes out there and creates his ideal universe. And it isn't until Wave Rider comes and notices, that's not supposed to be over there. And then he gets captured, and then Wally uses time travel to go back, and he finds Kyle and tells Kyle, hey, I need you, we need you, something's not right. And they bring him to this universe where Superman is still dead. Bruce Wayne, after Bane broke his back, he never tried to recover, he never tried to heal from that. And other heroes just doesn't know who he is because of that. Events never happened the way they were supposed to. So Kyle is trying to talk all these heroes into remembering who he is, like Supergirl, Wonder Woman, but it's not Diana that's Wonder Woman. It's I think Donna something. That's Wonder Woman, things like that. And so he's trying to convince him, hey, I'm not evil, I'm trying to fix things. Wally brought me here, which Wally does, die in the story. And I'm just trying to figure out what's going on so I can get out of here. So fast forward, they believe him. Parallax shows himself. Parallax needs to take Kyle's ring. He succeeds. It doesn't work. Kyle gets his ring back. They go through the whole thing of, hey, technically we aren't real, so are we really going to destroy millions of other universes just so our one little not real universe can exist? Or are we going to be heroes and sacrifice ourselves for the sake of the other millions of universes? And of course, they're heroes, so you know what they chose, and that's pretty much the end of the story. As a Green Lantern fan, good story. I enjoyed it. I feel like there was more to this story than what I read for some reason. I'm gonna have to research that, but it seemed kind of quick, you know. I feel like because you see Kyle Rayner on a planet of like aliens, and I don't know how he got there. So I feel like there were events before and after that I might have to look up and read. But me being, of course, a Green Lantern fan, I read it, of course. Like it or not, bad story or not, if it's Green Lantern, I'm gonna read it. If it's Spawn, I'm gonna read it. If it's Power Rangers, I'm gonna read it. Things like that. But if you're a Green Lantern fan, read it. If you're down for a good story, read it. If you're at a comic book store and just need something to like read, you know, just a fun read, I say pick it up. But that was the last book of my new comic book day pickups. Let me know what yours were, what you think about them. But please like, share, subscribe. Follow Super Heavy Sam on YouTube, TikTok, and YouTube are like my main social sites right now. So Super Heavy Sam, follow, like, subscribe. I know I'm talking in circles here. I'm trying to figure out a way to properly end this, but I'm just going to abruptly end it. So love you guys. Super Heavy Sam.